Hello and welcome back to Sally.exe Eye of 3, and this time, well, I tried to go for an Amy-Sally duo rap, but it did not go as planned. You will know what I mean very soon. Later on, I'll probably explain what I think is going on. And I do have a slight thought in my brain that has something to do with this being the easy version I'm on, not the difficult version. Because, well, 350 lives and only takes one ring of damage every time. Surprisingly enough, does actually make it rather easy. Yeah, you can plainly see I'm just taking advantage of the literal dozens of rings I have access to, while avoiding any inclination of safety. Yeah, I just wanted to get up there as quickly as possible, and then took extra hits. Boingy boing boing. And slows down. Pew pew. I actually got really lucky on this run through the fight because all 4 of my missiles were blue, meaning I had my full 10 rings to start the battle with. You only need to hit Eggman 4 times with the electric shield on in order to take him out. And yeah, the saw dropping does injure you. Let me just say there is a life above us, but I didn't need it, so I didn't grab it. And then I believe I died with Cream. Yeah, I died with Cream. I end up entering the big ring house first, but I end up passing it to go into the Sonic one. Ta-da! Big ring, that takes you directly to the end and allows you to move on to the gun section. Also, I don't know how it took me so long to notice, but after the spring that comes here in a second. Yeah, Merrily, I'm pretty sure. I don't ever remember her name for some reason. Yeah. She's actually standing over the ledge, probably watching me from inside the room, where I assume she drags the corpses to in order to prevent Jennifer from finding them. And yes, I do understand that it's just an alternate universe version of Amy and Sally, but I'm gonna try and refer to them as their proper names, not Desert Town Amy or Desert Town Sally. This part is still the slowest part of the game. Just the intersection between the levels. Now here's what I was talking about. You remember this screen from you remember that blue screen from the one-off situation in the Cream solo after I could not get a Sally solo. No, I did get a Sally solo after a strange incident with the Cream solo. I couldn't narrow that one down, but in this case I actually think it comes down to the easy mode has the true ending programmed in, but I don't think it has all the interactions for certain endings in it, like with how I could not actually use the Z key in the versus Sally Amy EXE fight. I think there might just be a situation where some criteria is being filled that should not be filled in the duos. Now, depending on whether or not the level select codes work in the harder versions, I can easily just, complete the necessary level as any of the 3 characters I choose right at the end of the game. Meaning I can just jump straight into the second part and see if the duos actually work, and if Cream actually works in that version. Of course, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and I'm actually going to need to preserve the ring star on the side of the battlefield. Speaking of the Cream solo, I did actually provide proof at the end of this video that the Z key did not work for me and just led to me getting hit. As well as what I meant to show you guys when you choose to jump away from Merrily before you take the optional Sonic fight. Well, I say optional, but it's really only optional up until the true ending, I think. Because I'm working under the assumption you do actually need both the Chaos Emerald and to save Merrily in order to actually get the best ending. If that is not the case, I will find out when I get to the true ending. Anyway, here's Amy's Cream fight, which I don't remember if it was just because I didn't do Sally before I did this, but for some reason after I defeated this guy with Amy, that it allowed me to play as Sally again, because I'm fairly certain I did already kill Sally, but I may not. But it feels strange to think that it would bring you into this fight and then, well, have Sal come back to life. Anyhow, this is probably going to be one of the longer sections of the video since I took forever to actually kill this guy because I was constantly having to recollect my emerald. And this is after like, I want to say 10-12 attempts already, because I actually defeated the green section before this. Hence why I have a 356. And also the section in order to hit this guy is also timed. So despite having to follow patterns, it's really uncertain whether you'll actually be able to hit him on any given turn. I guess while we're here, I'll go ahead and try to explain some of the orbs. So after the first hit, he'll drop a bouncing orb that'll, if you're caught below it at any time, it'll drop on you. Or drop where you were below it. So if you get caught under it, just move if you're not on the second level, because it's much harder to avoid on the second level. And then after the second hit, you'll see the one on the one orb on the floor. It doesn't move around often, but when it does move, it's very quick and tends to stay in place for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then the third orb that drops out is, I believe, an orange yellowish color aura. And what it does is it just glides along the second level. Essentially, it's just a more consistently moving version of the second orb. And then, when inevitably, or when you eventually hit... I don't remember this one's name. When you eventually hit this guy for the 4th time, that's when Cream will be taken by the forest spirit that comes out of it. And yes, I know I absolutely should have died there after getting hit. But invincibility frames are generous, I'll say, as well. Oh yeah. Also, it seemingly acts like that during this cutscene, both the dude and the bouncing orb will bounce on top of you, so you do actually have invincibility frames during that cutscene, as well as for a short bit after. But anyway, with Cream, it actually might be safer just to hang out on the first level, since Cream can't damage you unless you're in the air. Because for some reason Cream doesn't ever roll into you. So if you lose the timing on them, you will usually be good just to head on the ground, and at worst you take some knockback. Also, I do not know how I escaped the hit there. I absolutely should have gotten hit. I'm pretty sure at this point I just nearly start mashing the jump button. Yeah, I personally just like bouncing off this person when they're doing the floating spin drop dash, because, well, personally I like the extra knockback separating me from whatever's around me. Yeah, that was the innate reaction to Cream there, because I'm used to having to avoid absolutely everything. So I tried to jump to avoid Cream, hoping that the beam would be done. It ended up not being done, but I collected the emerald, meaning I'm still good. This boss fight is extremely unpredictable because of all the things that go on. You can't always account for when Cream or the bouncing orb come in. You only really know when the middle orb crosses your path after it's already in your path, or in your view at the very least. But yeah, after that I did beat this person, meaning I saved Cream, But something that led me to the conclusion of what I was saying earlier is what happens after I die as Sally. I guess on the bright side, I actually did end up beating what happened here. Not that it really changes the ending, it's still the end of the ending. Yeah, I don't truly know why Cream and Amy die there. It could be for a multitude of reasons, including that after they get off screen, this dude just pops back into existence. I also learned that technically Finished Nightmare was supposed to come before IF3 in terms of chronological order. I mean, I understand Sonic's position here. I mean, I don't truly understand why he had to give up control of his body. Because, well, I'd imagine a demon that is capable of controlling... or, I guess it's not technically controlling, but basically leading a being that literally manipulates souls. Ah yes, heart attack time. Dies. Anyhow, I go on to try and test a few other combinations to see I test one more combination to be exact. I test if Cream and Sally will have the same glitched state. And while it's not the exact same, also here's a bit of text that happens after you complete, I think, after you complete that boss fight before this. Against the soul person. Yeah, apparently it's more info behind the Cream of this universe. Yeah, this section I didn't speed through since it was the first time I saw the text. So I wanted to read it, as well as, well, give anybody who wanted to read it a chance. It's only a minute and a half, so I figured why not keep it in. Also, turns out the Sally in this world has a slightly different last name than round 1 of Spirits of Hell. Sally Nettle. Which, interesting. But outside of that, I kind of just jump around here in a minute to the life and death of, well, life to Cream and Sally, and then the death of Amy. Because I didn't want to have this be 3.5 hours long, is how long I was recording this for, trying to get the duo endings to work. And then this Amy section here was actually so incredibly short. Because I basically go ahead and die to Tails. And then actually press the C button to dodge something for some reason. And then it'll turn back around and enter my back. Yeah, that is probably the only time I'm actually going to legitimately use that to dodge an attack the way it's intended to be used to dodge an attack. And then I try to ride this Badnik, because Amy in this game can ride the Badniks. At least on the backs of Motobugs. I don't know about how many other bots, if any, are capable of being ridden. I don't exactly follow. I may be the one who recorded this, but it doesn't mean I exactly follow what's going on at all times. Anyway, Cream survives. Amy continues on while glitching the world. Sally dies. Now, something strange here is that, for me, I actually saw Amy on this continue screen. Hence why I chose to continue with Sally. Because I didn't pick up the Chaos Emerald in this run specifically. So I speeded up to see what happens if you don't live with Amy as well as Cream and Sally. Well, if you live with Cream and just Sally, but it seemingly just takes away the trigger for moving to the next sequence. Also, there's 3 random light blue rings up there. And then, because it triggered this cutscene again, I just pressed P after a second. Which is how you skip any skippable cutscene. Because not all of them are skippable. Takes me a minute because I don't always remember what the buttons do. Like, for example, I press 0 to try and see if that would fix the Amy Sally issue. But yeah, aside from that, I escaped as Cream, or ran from the EXEs, and then here's me trying to press Z, and then getting murdered, because I didn't want to press the down button. I gave up because I didn't want to spend 350 lives doing that. And here's what's supposed to happen after you betray Merrily and Jennifer. And this is also the end of the video, so if you liked it, like it. If you're enjoying most of the content, subscribe, and most importantly, I hope you have a good day. Well, there's good news, and there's bad news. The good news is I could in fact use the level select code in order to access it. But I also think I need to actually properly survive with each of the characters in order to get the survival ending. Because when I went to open the part 2, it did not in fact open. That's all I wanted to take note of here.